congrats and welcome.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Excited to be here.
Well, David, I'm going to tell you one thing. And I said, his brother's good looking too. My wife said, boy, I think that Derek Carr is cute. I said, yeah. I got to see the blue eyes or whatever. He got the look going. I said, him and his brother, that's the gene pool, his mom and dad. So congratulations coming to New Orleans. And I know the fan base is going to embrace you simply because, and I've told the fans, now I don't know if we're going to win a Super Bowl, but I know you're a winner. Yeah. And, if you could, right now we're trying to get back to the playoffs. And if you get to the playoffs, once you're in the playoffs, anything can happen. I always say this. You look up Major League Baseball, the NBA, you got to win a series. And you look how hot maybe the Eagles are, the 49ers are in the NFC. But one game, anything can happen. Yeah. You look at wild card teams, like even when the Giants. I remember earlier, Eli Manning and Coach Coughlin with the Giants early December, they're ready to run them out of town. And guess what? They end up winning a Super Bowl.
That's right.
So how you handle adversity, and it seems like you season enough and understand the task at hand.
Yeah, I mean, my brother was, on the team, when they won the Super Bowl, on one of the Super Bowls in New York. And so he knows, they made it as a wild card team, and they went on a run. And so I learned from his experiences. I've learned from my own, we went to the playoffs twice with the Raiders. Not what we wanted to do, but to accomplish that, we hadn't been in 20 years.
Right.
And so to get back to that kind of standard was nice. And so, yeah, anything can happen, but I'm just excited to be, here in New Orleans and have a fresh start, and see what we can make this thing.
I had read this was when you'd agreed to sign, and that there was that you had a relationship with like John Gruden that you could take 2 or 3 plays to the line and kind of back out of what you didn't want to back out of, and that kind of control you didn't have pushing forward in Las Vegas. But it's kind of, and I know it's not a Drew Brees comparison, but that's what they were able to do. Yeah. And your ability to kind of be able to have that strength, how much did you, one, like it, that you would be able to do it, and 2, play into that role?
Well, that was a big reason, a big part of the decision why I decided to come here. Talking to Drew about Pete and, learning those things about, how that dynamic worked with Pete and all that kind of stuff. And I fell in love with it because I felt my best ability has always been my mind. I've always felt that, the film study and what I can see and hear on the field and, get us into a good play, save us from a bad play, all those kind of things. And, at times with Gruden, the whole playbook was I would break the huddle, but I had the whole playbook at my disposal,
Right.
And, that takes time. You have to earn that. You have to, there's a lot of learning that goes in, and that's why hopefully I can learn as much as I possibly can to get us to, a certain level. But every year that we go forward, be a little bit more.
Because with this offense, though, the uniqueness is it's not a facet of the offense. It is the offense. Successfully back out. It's not a facet. It's whether it's successful or not.
Yes, that's absolutely right. And there's a time and a place where certain teams you call plays and you run them. They're disguising stuff. They're doing and when teams know you play that way, they disguise things, they hold things, they make it look different. And there's a time and place for it. But when you get certain defenses where you can play that way and do your best to get us in the proper situation and things like that with checks and all that, that I think is what helps not only the quarterback, but it helps the whole football team. You're running successful plays. It helps Olave, getting to better looks for his routes. It helps Mike. It helps Juwan. It helps Rashid. It helps, Taysom. It helps, Alvin. It helps everybody. It makes it easier on the O-line. They're blocking easier looks rather than going uphill on a run, So hopefully I can bring, some of that for our guys.
Well, Derek, I like you know their name. You're not calling them by their number. Hey, 12 or whatever. I need you to do this. No, that you're familiar with the roster. Yeah. But I thought this was interesting, Derek, and I want you to comment on this. Now, I agree with this. You might not agree with this. But when you look at the position, you go high school, and you high school open, college open, then NFL open. And then what it takes to succeed at the NFL level. I started out in the USFL, played in the NFL, played from 83 to 97. So I look way back. I thought this was unbelievable when Jeff Ireland, Jeff Ireland's in the building. He said, I sat down with Drew Brees before he left, and I said, I got to know this. What makes you exceptional? And I agree with this 1,000%. Yeah. He said processing speed, accuracy, and getting the ball out. You might say, oh, well, the quarterback's getting sacked too much and the offensive line sucks or whatever. How about the quarterback can make the offensive line look better? So with Jeff Ireland, when Drew Brees made that statement, I think you would agree with that. To last and to truly be successful in the league.
No, I completely agree. You have to be able to process a lot of information very quickly, not only your own scheme, but what the defense is doing as well. And within the flow of the game, you have to understand situations. You have to understand a lot of different things. You got to process that, and you only get 40 seconds to do it.
Right.
And so for them to say, Drew to say that, I completely agree. And then accuracy is you have to be accurate. You can throw the ball a mile. I like to think I love throwing the ball deep. I love throwing but if you can't throw it accurately, it's pretty pointless.
Especially this day and age, you can't be a 48-50% passer. They look at you like back in the day, you're like, oh, can you hit 60%?
Yep.
Now you got to be high 60s or close to 70% to be successful.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So I completely agree with that. And then I think another thing that I even add to that is Drew has been a great teammate. He's been a great person, for his teammates. And, he may not say that about himself, but just from afar, I've always admired because when Gruden was, when I was with Gru, we played similar styles of offense. And so I was very intrigued by the way that he played. I was always intrigued by Peyton Manning, the way that he had control and played the game. And so that's something that I've always wanted to play like.
You know what? I know it's Who Dat Nation Saints fans remember. We were playing the Raiders, and like, can we cover the damn tight end, Waller, in Las Vegas? We tried, whether it's DeMario Davis, Malcolm Jenkins, 3 or 4 different coverages, and we couldn't stop him. So I told the fan base, I said, I know one thing, David Carr knows how to utilize the tight end position. Right? So I'm not worried about, how you spread the wealth.
Oh, you got to.
You check the running backs or the wide receivers, but how to utilize the tight end. I said, David Carr knows how to do that.
No, it matters. It matters for sure.
Talk about your phone call with Mike Thomas. He called you, and we know Mike has been around since, a while, but we've never really had these lengthy conversations. And you said up there that you had a hard time getting off the phone with him, and I was like, wow, that says something there.
And David, considering you was the NFL Offensive Player of the Year.
Yep.
I mean, that don't happen by accident because they like you.
Right.
You have to have achievement to be able to get that reward.
Yep, no doubt. I think, talking to Mike, you just feel the competitiveness. I fell in love with him when I was talking to him on the phone. I really did. I told my wife when I got off the phone, I was like, I could talk to him all night. It makes you just so believe what with your abilities and what you're capable of to do together. And he's very competitive. He's ultra competitive, and he's very physical. He's dominant. At the point of attack. He's contested catch. Is unbelievable. His routes. Always admired what him and what he's been able to do here in this system. And so for me, hopefully, getting to throw him the passes and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it was a no-brainer for me. When it came to decision time, I was like, man, I got him to throw to. I got all these guys to throw to. He's been. I mean, we text almost every day now, so it's been cool.
Wow, so he's giving you every indication that he's going to be here for the long run, just like you.
I hope so.
Yeah.
That's the plan. That's what he was talking me into it, and then He said congrats today. So
well, I think if we can get Michael Thomas on board, make even Chris Olave better in his development. Yeah. As a rookie, you look Rashid Shaheed, stretch the defense. You're never going to have too many weapons.
No, you can't have enough.
Because they can't double team everyone.
That's my favorite saying. I say the same thing. If you have a lot of weapons, they can't double them all.
Yeah, and Derek, what is your approach throughout your career and where you're at now? Because you have to have a relationship with the backup quarterback and the whole quarterback room.
Yeah.
And how it's going to be all for one for all.
That's right.
And I even said this. I said, I don't think Andy Dalton would have a problem backing up Derek Carr. He knows his role right now. I think he did an outstanding job last year. But Derek Carr could take us to a different level. Yeah. When you look at the whole – and even with like a Jameis Winston, I don't know where he's at mentally, if he still wants to be the man or if he's willing to accept that backup role. What is your approach as far as now, you've always been available. I brought that up talking to you. That's one thing that you can't coach. Yeah. Either you're available or you're not available, and you've been to be held accountable. You've done that. But is it like any preference or going forward? Because I know you probably would not have a problem if they drafted like a hooker or some young quarterback to come into the fold. because you're the man right now, but it's a process, and all NFL teams know that one day, no matter who's the guy, you pass in the torch, and you want to keep that continuity going.
Yeah, absolutely. I love Andy and I love Jameis. I love them both. I know them both well, have nothing but respect for them, love them as players. Andy's been doing it such a long time and at a high level. They're both able to start in this league and play at a high level. They've both proven it over their careers and all those things. And so I don't know what that room is going to look like yet.
Right.
I just don't. I don't know. I can't wait to see what it is. And my belief is whoever's in the room, we are in there as the quarterback room trying to lead our football team. We are in there together trying to lead our football team. Yes, one of us can only play because that's just the quarterback position. But there's no headbutting. There's none of that. We have to be going in the same direction. We got to be saying the same things. We got to be speaking life into the same guys and not trying to pull people in different directions and things like that. For our team to be ultimately successful, coming from the quarterback room, it starts with us all being on the same page, going the same way. And so, yeah.
Derek, how does it feel because remember when I was playing I think us and the Dolphins, the facilities we had, it was garbage. I mean, the roof's leaking and all that. Where we're on David Drive, I look at now the Saints facility, and you've been around the NFL now. Where does this rank? I think we're amongst the best, right, as far as what you have with the field and the facility here off Airline Highway. Is that something that comes into play? Okay, it seems like, boy, this is something that I want to drive to every morning and be a part of.
Yeah, I mean, when you pull up to work, you can – and you see, it doesn't have to be the newest building,
right?
But when you get in the building, are we doing everything it possibly takes to win, And that's what I was looking at when I walked in here. Obviously, this building's been here a while and all those kind of things, but you get in here, and you see every room you walk in, that you have everything you possibly could need to be successful, and I think that that's so vitally important because. If you're, you have an organization that's not trying to give you every little bit of an edge, then that's a problem. It's not like a red flag. It's really a red flag to me to say, are we really doing everything it takes to win? And here you can tell they're trying to do everything it takes to win.
Now, David, what did it come about? Because I know the stability of being a Christian. Mm-hmm. And is that something maybe at Fresno State, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, or where do you say, man, I got a rock by my side?
Yep.
And by being a Christian, by trusting in Jesus that he's going to lead me the right way, going forward. Is that something that happened in the NFL, or that goes back to high school or college days?
You know what? That's how I was raised. My grandpa was a pastor for over 30 years at the same church. Before him, my uncle was the pastor. My mom, worship leader. My dad was a deacon. My other grandpa was a deacon. We have missionary uncles. Everything and anything in between. And so. I really didn't make it my own, really, until high school, though, because it was just, that's what my family is.
Right.
But then when I got to high school and then into college, I was like, I really need to, as a man, you got to make something.
Personally.
You got to make it yourself, for yourself. And so, I really did that, and I've been following Jesus ever since. But, that's my rock, that's why I can go through whatever I've gone through in life and be the same, and that's what I try and be for my family.
You have daughter Brooklyn, and then you mentioned Deacon, so you have a Deacon, but it's a K.
It's a K, yep.
Dallas and Decker. Right? And so I just have to ask you, because my grandfather has all girls, and they're all Ks. Uh-huh. And he's like, Kelly, and he's trying to get their name, but I'm thinking about, you're still a dad. I don't care what, they're still 9, 6, 7, and it's like, Dallas, Deacon.
Oh, yeah. I went 100%. And so I grew up, it's David, Darren, and Derek.
Right.
And so, my mom, David, and then he'd come running downstairs. No, I meant Darren. And so,
But Brooklyn breaks the string, right? I mean, was there a conversation with you and Heather? Like, look, we got to break this.
She broke it because she's the princess. So I tell my boys, anyone with the letter D in their first name, y'all got to move out at 18.
She gets to stay.
She can stay for life. So my boys know. They already know.
Very good.
Now, Derek, when you look at. Obviously, the way the rules have changed, and you look how long Tom Brady played. I look back, and I felt fortunate. I played till I was 37 years of age. I wanted to continue to play, but my elbow was shot. But when you look at, is there and I try to tell Saints fans, listen, you can't worry about Derek Carr being, because, who you draft, over the next decade, he's all, man, how about you give me 5 or half a dozen years of high efficiency football. Yeah. I mean, when you truly look at it, whether it be like a Lamar Jackson or yourself or whoever it might be, right now, to me, it's not like what you're going to do for a decade, but what you could do like for a couple of years or maybe a handful of years going forward as far as putting the product on the field where the fans feel like we have a chance.
Oh, yeah. My mindset is not 10 years from now. My mindset is this season. Like I'm trying to win now. And so I promise you I would have not come here if my mindset or the organization's mindset was any other place. We are trying to win now and make it happen now. How many years I'm going to play, I'll let my body and let the Lord determine that. But I'm going to give you everything I have right now, and my focus is this season. And when we get to next season, we'll focus on next season. But right now, I want to make sure that we have the best season the Saints can possibly have this year.
Well, welcome again. I think you said it best up at the desk, which was when you're talking with your agent, hey, I'm a Saint. Let's do it. And he said, there you go. And so it just felt right. And welcome to the city. Get used to taking pictures at restaurants, better restaurants.
That's right.
Early happy birthday to you. I know it's coming up later this month. And so you're going to love it here. And you're going to be very well received. And we appreciate your time, Derek Carr.
Thank you, guys. God bless you guys.
Derek, through the months and come up in training camp, mini camp, and all that, if I do call you David, I'm talking about David.
I know. Trust me, my mom did it my whole life, so I'm good. Yeah.